Tonight's Board of School Trustees meeting for Fort Wayne Community Schools. We begin this meeting as we do each meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now we have roll call of members.
Good evening, Steve Corona from the 5th District.
Julie Hollingsworth, District 1.
Jennifer Mathias, District 2.
Ann Duff, District at Large.
Raleigh Booker, District 4.
Noah Smith, District 3.
And to my left, we have Dr. Mark Daniel, Superintendent of Fort Wayne Community Schools, and Angie Filler, Clerk of the Board, and I'm Maria Norman, Member at Large. This evening, we start with awards and recognitions, and first up, we have Healthy Kids, Healthy Future Innovation Challenge. It is recommended that the board recognize Kamaya Fombi as a finalist in the 2023 Healthy Kids, Healthy Future Innovation Challenge. Parkview Health, in collaboration with Matter, presented this competition. The Healthy Kids, Healthy Future Innovation Challenge is a global innovation challenge inviting innovators and startups from around the globe to pitch solutions to improve children and teen health. Kamaya Fombi was recognized as one of 8 finalists in the challenge. She is the youngest competitor in the competition's history and was the only African-American female finalist. Kamaya's app protocol, called One Day at a Time, focuses on empowering teens and young adults to overcome stigmas with a sense of belonging and community. Kamaya, please come forward so that we may congratulate you. And along with her, Riley Johnson, Director of AMP Lab, is with her tonight.
So, what do you think we should do? Ask her what's your...
Oh, we're going to grill her with questions about her app. But first, let's get a picture.
Mom, you can get in the middle.
All right, Kamaya. There's a mic right over here. And I know board members have questions about your app, so can you tell us a little bit about your app?
So One Day at a Time is an innovative mental health app designed to empower teens and young adults with a sense of belonging and community. One Day at a Time connects students to resources, coping skills, and inspiration as they navigate the struggles of daily life. So with this app, it uses all 3 platforms with schools, medical providers, and hospitals in one area where students can get all the help that they need to get.
Wow, that's awesome.
So can you give an example of what help, or what would I look at the app, what am I going to see?
So for example, when you open up the app, you immediately get opened up with a positive quote, and there's a whole bunch of resources on this page. But the biggest part is the messaging. So for the messaging, you see that there's a whole bunch of resources out in Fort Wayne, but not a lot of students have that or have access to those. So talking with free medical providers is also a big part inside of this app. So having them speak with Purdue students that want to go into psychology, they will also be inside of this app doing their clinicals with talking to students because of the age gap so close. So they will be able to talk to medical providers that are going into that field. They will be able to connect with other students anonymously, and they will also be able to just get the specific needs that they need.
How long did it take you to develop this?
It will be a year on the 20th.
Okay. And so Riley came up with you, and I'm assuming that this was a project that you did at the AMP Lab?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience with the AMP Lab, what you liked?
So my experience at AMP Lab was completely new and different. I didn't come in with the idea of having a mental health app. I just came in with the open perspective of this was something new. But then going through the AMP Lab process and learning that you can help out the community at such a young age, it was a really good experience to get to know people that really do enjoy having teens around.
So is this your second year
Yes.
at AMP Lab then?
And what's your home school?
Northrop High School.
Northrop, okay.
So while reaching out to our community partners, did some of them come in or did you reach out? How did that work?
So it worked both ways, just a little bit. So with the community partners, they would come in, and it was based off challenges, based off of what we were doing at AMP Lab. But when I started expressing out my idea for the app, they did and come and personally talk to me, and they connected me with different resources that they had.
Are they utilizing the app, do you know, the Parkview?
So me and Parkview, we are speaking now, and I hope to expand outside of Parkview as well to Lutheran and DuPont.
Wow, that is amazing. And I love the way you connected, being really intentional about connecting students with people who are, that they can kind of relate to, and incorporating college students too, so.
Can you see the users that you have so far?
So no, you will not be able to see the user so far. I'm in the development stage of it, so I don't have a full prototype of code development yet, but I do have a prototype of what it will look like.
Awesome.
What would you say you learned the most about this whole process situation?
What I learned the most about this whole situation is that I honestly have people that can support me behind my back, especially with an idea that can go from point A to point C really fast, and that I do have adults around my corner.
Is this something that you think you want to continue with or go to college for, or how do you see this?
I definitely want to go into college in the medical field, but I do hope that this app will expand to Fort Wayne Community Schools, especially since I will have a leading mark. So I hope this will open students to that one-on-one connection and not feel isolated into themselves.
So you mentioned that this is still currently a prototype. Do you have a launch date for production?
I do not have a launch date, but I hope to have this app running in almost 2 years.
Okay.
Would you consider yourself a techie person?
Oh, no.
So is like Parkview helping with that, or other students at AMP Lab, or?
So we are reaching out to different local community partners at AMP Lab, and I am trying to squeeze my way through community colleges. I like loopholes, so it's perfect. But no, I have not found any code developers yet.
Well, keep at it. I'm sure you'll get there.
Yeah. This is great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
you're
you.
welcome. We done with it? Okay. You were, you handled that like a champ. Way to go. Thank you so much. Congratulations. You're welcome. All right, next up, we have Noah will present the next award.
Riley, before you leave, I just want to thank you for opening up those opportunities for all of our students to come up with wonderful and innovative ideas. Thank you.
I promise this will be my last obnoxious, proud Snyder High School state football championship moment for 2023.
Thank you.
It is recommended that the board, us, recognize Snyder High School football team for being the 2023 Class 5A state football champions. It is also recommended that the board recognize Snyder senior Jake Tippman for receiving the Phil N. Eskew Mental Attitude Award and for being named to the Indianapolis Colts academic team. Snyder played Decatur Central for the state championship at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis and won 33-6. This is Snyder's third state championship without having a home football field, winning previously in 1992 and 2015. Jake Tippman was chosen as the Phil N. Eskew Mental Attitude Award for demonstrating exceptional academic performance, citizenship, leadership, athletic performance while competing for the state championship. Jake was one of 22 seniors chosen for the prestigious Colts academic team, where he will be recognized during halftime of the Colts versus Texans game. Tonight, we have many members of the senior class of the Snyder football team, along with other representatives. First, I'd like to introduce Principal Chad Hissong to come forward. Athletic Director Steve Zimbo. Then I'd like to introduce Assistant Coach Ryan Moorman. And I've specifically asked Ryan to be here because he was awarded this year as not only a great coach at Snyder, but the Indiana Football Coaches Association Assistant Coach of the Year for the state of Indiana. Ryan has been coaching for 26 years. He has won a state championship as a player, and now this is his second one as a coach. He also won a second place smaller ring, which I have a virtual copy of, in a previous year. He coaches the outside linebackers and has been a teacher in the Fort Wayne Community School District for over 25 years. Thank you and congratulations to you, Ryan. And I'd like to also introduce the head coach, Kurt Tittman, who is not only the state football champion coach, but the Indiana Football Coaches Association 2023 Head Coach of the Year. Coach Tittman has completed his 15th year as the head coach at Snyder. His overall record is 150 wins, which is 37 losses, and that's 150 wins in 15 years, so that's 10 a year on average. His winning percentage ranks him as the 8th best in the state of Indiana for active coaches. In his 15 years as head coach, the Panthers have won 6 conference titles, 13 sectional championships, 8 regional titles, 3 semi-state, and 2 state championships. Coach Tripp, this is from the IFCA website. Coach Tittman attributes the success of the Snyder football program to the best coaching staff in Indiana, a group of players that work hard and love football. Kurt is married to his high school sweetheart, who Jennifer and I had the pleasure of going to high school with, Martina. And then they both graduated in 1990, and they have 3 sons, Hayden at Purdue on an Evans Scholarship, son Jake, a senior this year, who was with us tonight, and the Fill-in SQ Mental Attitude Award winner, and son Sawyer, who's a sophomore. So I'll let Kurt then introduce the kids from there, if you don't mind, at the microphone, and the players we have with us.
All right, can everybody hear me? From stage right, Jake Tittman, number 13, Uriah Buchanan, number 1, Austin Ganaway, number 6, Will Kelso, number 7, Paul Leon, number 68, Matt Narrison, number 14, Aiden Igney, number 56, John Stegmeyer, number 12, Ethan Dotson, number 71, Isaac Cruz, number 99, Jack Miller, right there, he's number 49, you can't see it, Carter Wilson, number 54, RJ Nichter, number 45, Levi Overholzer, number 11, and Tony Hernandez, number 48. These are the majority of our seniors in this year's team. Some guys are playing basketball or practicing different sports and couldn't be here, but our senior class. If I could, just a few comments. First of all, thank you for the recognition tonight. And these guys, and all I can say is it's well deserved on their behalf. We have a kind of a team motto or really belief system that's formed out of a Greek word, arete, A-R-E-T-E, and it stands for striving for excellence in everything that we do. And this group embodies that to a T. And you guys they're being recognized tonight because they won a game on the field. But I want to take a minute to kind of describe how they are excellent in a lot of other areas that nobody knows about, because they truly embody the word arete in our program. First, team GPA. And I had to research this. We do the whole freshman through senior class, but for another submission, we had to look at the varsity team as the first game that we played, that roster, what our team GPA is. And I was kind of taken aback as well. 3.33 team GPA. 3.33. That's pretty amazing. We have 22 seniors, 22 members of the senior class. 11 of those 22 qualified as academic all-state players. That means their individual GPA, a cum GPA, is 3.4 or higher. That's 50% of the senior class is an academic all-state player. We have the #1 ranked student in the senior class, and if he doesn't screw things up here this semester, will be a valedictorian. And Jake, in his time as a football athlete, has taken 13 different AP classes during his time. So here is the embodiment of a student and an athlete. As mentioned, Noah mentioned, he's the Mental Attitude Award winner and was named to the Indianapolis Colts team. But this is now the second year in a row that we've had a member of our football team named to the Indianapolis Colts academic team. And there's only 24 kids in the state that are named to this team. This is the second year in a row. Lincoln Firks was a member of the team last year. These guys embody service, and they serve the community. For the second year in a row, they were named to the Indiana Good Works team for their service in the community. And they provide service in a lot of different areas, none of which is required. It's all by choice. And just to highlight a few things, 10 of these guys act as mentors in the Big Sisters or Big Brothers Big Sisters program with elementary students from Glenwood Elementary, and they've been serving in that capacity for the last 3 years. So they matched them up when the little guys were third graders, and now they're fifth graders. They're in their third year. 10 of our guys volunteer their time once every 2 weeks, and sometimes missing practice, or the year before had to get up and come to school an hour early to visit those young people on a regular basis. They volunteer at Aaron's house one Thursday every month, and they've done that for their time during high school. They volunteered at 15 Tin Cap games this summer, where they worked in the concession booth 15 times this summer. We had different guys represented in the football program. So, they are selfless, and they do it to experience what it's like to help somebody else out. So they are the embodiment of servant leaders. And they work extremely hard. And I'm going to run through this because they have worked extremely hard to accomplish what they've done academically and athletically. Beginning last December, they stay after school 4 days a week and do extra work for an hour and a half, 4 days a week from December all the way to the end of school. This senior class attended a leadership class before school, outside of the school day, every Wednesday. Was it Wednesday? Thursday morning from January till the end of school in May. So every week, and they did not miss. They're there every Thursday, an hour before school, to take another class. Where do you see that? Just rare. They attended, they're there every day in the summer. So when school got out, right before Memorial Day, they began their summer program on May 30th. And they were there Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock, 5 days a week, the entire summer, with the exclusion of the 4th of July week, which is a week off. They're there every Monday through Friday, 2 hours a day. They participated in 27 different football practice sessions during the spring and the summer, all of which are probably 2 hours long. All right? And then they went away to camp for 3 days at Taylor University. Spent 3 days away from everything else they do as a high school student in the summer, and just to be together as a team. And then practice starts in August. Well, all this has happened before they even start football practice. And they're there every day. We counted up, when we were practicing in Thursday on Thanksgiving Day before the state championship, we counted that was their 92nd practice from August till, that Thanksgiving Day, their 92nd practice of the season. All right? These guys work extremely hard. And it's a special group. And I want to say to the board and to Dr. Daniels and the Fort Wayne Community School cabinet that all the things and decisions that go into sponsoring, supporting, funding, the extracurricular activities that go along with Fort Wayne Community Schools. And I want to tell you that these guys are a great example of that it's worth it. I'm telling you, it's worth it. To watch them experience life in a microcosm of a sport, and to know what they gain from it and to see it actually happen, I'm telling you, it's worth it. It's worth everything that we do and more. And I challenge you to do more, because what they exemplified, what they experience, and what they do for each other through the course of, in this case, a team sport, but it's no different than drama. It's no different than marching band. It's no different than esports. Whatever we sponsor as a school district, I'm telling you, it is worth it because of what they gain from it. You would be amazed at the things these guys have experienced this year that nobody knows about, but that they've helped each other get through, that they've helped each other overcome, that they've just helped each other experience. And then to win on top of it, what everybody thinks is the primary goal of winning on the field is a byproduct of all the things they've done to get to that place. So they are to be commended for their accomplishments, but they are excellent in so many other ways that I know they would make you proud if you knew all about it. So congratulations to those guys.
So, guys, I'm a fellow Snyder Panther football player, not as successful as you. I have my small red ring, my sophomore year, if you want to walk by and look at it. It's not nearly as cool as the blue one you'll get. So a couple things I like to say is I saw in some videos that Coach Tittman talked about this football community that would reach out to him and touch base with him. And I heard that as a player from Coach Mike Hawley. Coach Tittman was 1 year younger than me. We used to battle it out on the practice fields like you guys do. But there is a community, and I had no fewer than 8 text groups going during the state championship game asking me what's going on. The biggest group had 15 people in it. And so when Coach Tittman says there's a group like us, a school board, a community of Fort Wayne, there's also the alumni of Snyder and alumni of Snyder football players. They're super proud, excited, and we're cheering you on from far south as Florida, as far west as California, and as far east as New York State. So you guys not only represent Snyder High School well, you represented Snyder football alumni very well, and we are proud of you. I'd like to call up Jake Tittman first to the microphone, and you can do up there where your coach was or there, and talk a little bit about your experience and talk about the SQ award.
My experience, I came to Snyder. I didn't go to a feeder school that fed into Snyder, and the first encounter I had with Snyder was summer gym and all the football activities. So these guys really were the first people I encountered at Snyder, and they became like my best friends. Everyone on my football team, I mean, every one of these seniors is one of my best friends, and so it really just gave me a family. And that was one of the best things about this last year, is just playing as many games as possible so I could play and be with my guys for as much time as possible. And then the award, I mean, I didn't even really think about it. I was more focused on the game, and then just hearing afterwards that happened, it was kind of even I wasn't really thinking about it. And just to have the honor, it was really special. To people thought that I deserved that award, so it meant a lot that people thought that I was excellent in all those categories that it was described for, so it meant a lot.
Thank you. Ethan Dotson, could I pick on you next? Ethan, I called on you. I told Coach I wanted to ask you this question because I didn't think it was possible to inform me it was. I didn't think a lineman was possible to get the #1 jersey, but Coach Tittman said that is possible. But since you didn't get it this year, tell us about your teammate Uriah. Tell us about what it means to get the #1 jersey and what you saw and experienced Uriah going through to ultimately claim that jersey.
Well, the #1 jersey, first of all, is given to the player who has worked the hardest over their junior going into their senior year, who's worked the hardest and has shown that they are dedicated to this team fully. And no one exemplifies that more than Uriah. He's there every day. He's there cheering his teammates on, and he has just been busting his butt all summer to get to his season. And then even to play as he did all year, over 2,000 rushing yards and then 2 big plays in the state title just goes to show how much work he put in. And he's such a great teammate to everybody. He never yells at anybody. Yeah, I'd love to say that.
I can't say that about you, right?
No, I got to keep a level head. But, UB's a teammate to everybody. He loves every single one of these guys. I love him, and I'd die for him, man.
Thank you. Uriah, would you mind stepping up? I'll start with, what did it mean to get that #1 jersey? What's it mean to have Ethan and the other guys blocking for you? And then tell us about those 2 big runs when you were blocked and there was nowhere to go, and all of a sudden the seas parted. 95 yards later, you saw the green.
It's a blessing and honor to wear #1 jersey. And I couldn't ask for a better team to let me wear the number 1 jersey and, make my mark as, in the program and things like that. The O-line, Carter, Dotson, some other guys that aren't here. I'm thankful for them because without, them, a lot of the stuff a lot of production that we had wouldn't have been there. The big runs in the state game, without, Carter making waves or, him pushing people out the way, all that kind of stuff like that, everything that O-lineman needs, it is real special. I can go back and watch the plays and things like that, and it's like, man, without them, for real, that would never happen. Like, I would have never got through, that line, and I'm just real thankful for them.
Well, I've hogged the microphone enough, but anybody else is welcome, and just know that there's a lot of guys that walked in your shoe steps at Snyder that did not have your success. I think at Kieran, his grandpa played when I was a senior, or freshman, excuse me. He didn't make it there. I made it there, but we didn't pull it off. There's a lot of guys that gone before you and worked hard and didn't quite pull off the ultimate prize, and you guys did that. And then as Coach Tittman mentioned, you guys have a lot to be proud of off the field, and we're proud of you.
I know we need a picture. Sorry that we have such a diehard Snyder football board member that put a lot of you on the spot, but thank you so much for entertaining his questions. I know that we normally take a photo, so if you all could get in maybe 2 rows, maybe 3, scrunched together.
Noah, are you in the picture? Chad?
I better get down there with my 2015 shirt. Notice, Scott, I'm still waiting on my 2023 championship shirt.
Oh, my goodness.
You do have 2 other alumni sitting up here to congratulate you, too.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody look over here. I think I got most of you, and Noah. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Did they all get to drive themselves here?
No.
Oh, you brought the minibus. All right. Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations. Notice this is one of the linemen. See how? Congratulations. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. Oh, that was so fun. I love that.
Noah, for the record, we played home football games at Snyder when I was in school.
Oh, okay. I've been standing corrected, thank you. And that was 71,
Yeah.
the year I was born.
Julie's like, thank you for
That was my
the.
freshman year.
Northern wasn't built then yet. Yeah.
Did you go to school half day there, too? I've heard.
No,
that
my
somebody
sister
went
did.
to school.
My sister went to 2nd grade at Snyder
Yeah.
for a semester, before Glenwood Park was finished.
I've heard that
She
story.
vividly remembers somebody holding her up so she could take a drink out of the drinking fountain.
They were like half days. Yeah,
Wow.
That's interesting.
That is-
There's interesting history to
I
that.
feel like we just had a on this day in history moment. Okay, so we are done with awards and recognition. So next up on the agenda is the consent agenda, which includes approval of minutes from the meeting on November 27th, vouchers and payroll approval, the personnel report, and required disclosures. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Raleigh and Ann. Dr. Daniel, did you have anything that you wanted to share?
I do not.
Okay, thank you. All the board members in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We have no old business, so we move on to new business. Steve, are you up and running?
It is recommended the board approve the acceptance of the Indiana Department of Education's 2023 Digital Family and Parent Support Grant It's in the amount of $15,000. Funding for this grant is intended to help support parents with understanding of instructional technology tools, resources, and strategies they can use with their students. Funding will provide resources to update and improve our parent-supported page, as well as printed materials and at-home learning resources to encourage blended learning. We'll also utilize the money to host parent information events around the topics of digital citizenship and online safety. And we have Shannon Quigley, the manager of learning technology, here to answer any questions.
Thank you, Steve. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Ann. Thanks, Jennifer. Any questions for Shannon?
Shannon, can you tell us a little bit about how we're using that currently, and just a little more explanation than what was in the recommendation?
Sure. Last year we received this grant as well. So in our first year, we were able to provide each incoming kindergartner's family with some information around instructional technology, the tools, resources, devices that we have at school, as well as a manipulative kit that they could have at home. So if they were to do some online learning, they would have like number tiles, manipulative letters they could use. So really to show that it's not all about technology, it's about how we use it together with what they're doing at school. So that resource was provided. So this year we're planning to expand that a little bit with providing those types of materials for all families, not just incoming kindergartners, through some of the family connection events, as well as providing some of those at-home learning kits for students beyond kindergarten.
But you're focusing mainly on elementary?
Well, the information around the tools that we have is going to be for all K-12 students, as well as some specific events for parents of secondary students around the digital citizenship and online safety. But the physical materials are intended more for elementary.
So will all incoming kindergarten parents still get that?
Yes, we'll still have enough for kindergarten families to receive, but then like the back to school event at Anthus, we're hoping to be able to provide more for parents that come on site for older students as well.
Is this printed material or go through a computer, like a website or something?
Well, our supported site does have like online tutorials around the programs and things that we use, so we are hoping to update that a little bit with some of the more recent things that we've added. But we also do have a companion printed material that we give them, so if they don't have access to online tools, they can at least start to understand the vocabulary they might hear their kids using at home, or how to take care of their device. So it will lead them to that site, but it does have some resources they can use without getting online.
So they don't need a FWCS computer to access that?
Nope, that's on our public website.
Shannon, I will say, as a current parent, all of the apps and programs that we have are a little overwhelming and confusing. So I guess for me, like the Power School, and then there's Parent Square, but then there's Sports U, and there's just a lot of things. And so I don't know if I'm old school, but I think it would be helpful to get something that says these are the tools that your kiddo at this grade level may use, which ones have an app, which ones don't. Yeah, and I've heard that at PTA meetings as well with like other parents, that it's just kind of confusing. The thing that I was most confused about is Power School is their grades, but then they log into something else for their work.
Schoology?
Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So I have all these apps and I have like notifications set up, but I don't know when really I just want to see its grades, but then I can see the missing assignments in there as well. So because a 12-year-old is always going to say, yeah, I have straight A's. No, I have everything turned in. And so I need a way to check to make sure that those are valid statements.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And we are looking to expand some of the printed materials too. So those by grade level would be a good idea for us to take back and think about how we could make that more clear for parents so they can truly understand which things are priority and which things maybe are just extra that they're looking at.
Right. Thank you
Okay.
so much. Yeah, that would be helpful.
So you mentioned this will be parent night or back to school night for Antis or any other schools contemplated?
Well, that's like, the summer back to school bash where they have like the backpack giveaway. That's where we're thinking we would have like a setup. So all schools would have access to it. That's just the location that it's been in the past that we're hoping to be a part of this year.
On the Support It, which is the online digital platform, right?
Yep.
Do we have data of how many parents use that each year? And I know I'm putting you on the spot for a number. I don't
Yeah. I don't
need to
have-
know that number. I just know that, are we tracking how many parents are actually utilizing that
I don't know if we're
software?
currently tracking that, but we certainly can, especially as we hope to improve and promote it more with more updated resources. We can kind of track to see how many parents are going there and what sections they would be utilizing.
I know that when we first started Schoology, there was video, like walk you through things. Do we still have those?
Yeah, those are still available, and I believe they're also available in Spanish and Burmese on our site currently so that families have access to them. But as things change and update, that's what part of this grant will help us do, is make sure that they're up to date with the latest information.
Okay. I think another one was Naviance. Like, I know that the students log in and they do it, but I wasn't sure, like, what information are they collecting, what's being done with the information that is being collected, and then how I, as a parent, can support my student through what they're doing in Naviance. So that was just another one that came to mind.
Okay.
Just FYI. So,
Well, if
throwing
you
that
think
out
of
there.
more, let me know, and we'll keep adding it to the
How many are
list
there?
of things. How many different tools and resources?
Yeah, that's one thing I've always wondered.
We have a list of them. I would say it would be hard for me to give you a number right off the bat, but I do have a list of all of them, because at every level there's certain things that are, here are the things we provide as a district and we recommend. Here are some things that are supplemental that you could offer. So there's a varying level of the different tools that we have. Some are teacher options, some are the ones that we're saying, like Schoology, you're required to use in your classroom, but different educational supplements are optional at different places.
I'd be curious for that information.
Okay, we'll get that for you.
Any other questions for Shannon?
I just think what I think I heard Maria say is that she's still struggling knowing for which level her child is and what she should be looking at, or is there a way to break that down each year for parents so that, okay, these are the things that we're really focusing on that really could help you help your child.
Yeah.
I know that there are different things in elementary than there are in middle and than there are in high school, but I don't know if there's just a better way that we can communicate to our parents and help them with that. And I don't know whether that's printed material or that's just per teacher or whatever, but I do know that having kids that had went through the system, as we added more and more, it was a struggle to figure out whether I'm logging into Schoology or Parent Square or wherever it was I was going to find my information. I just think that we still struggle a little bit with communication and helping our parents help themselves.
Sure. Yeah, so we really do hope that this grant will help us tackle some of those issues and make things more streamlined and clear for parents. So we had kind of designed something that you're describing for the kindergartner, so that will be a good building base for us to then maybe we can make one for each grade level that really gives them the core of what they need to know. They don't need to know I'm a parent in the district as well, so I don't need to know every single thing that my students are doing, but I do like to know the main things I should be paying attention to as a parent.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
Was this a competitive grant or just something we applied?
This is a competitive grant, yes.
And how's the 15 grand compared to what we got last year?
The max that you can ask for is 15 grand, so we received that both years.
Okay. Do you know how many other school districts received this type of grant?
I believe there was 30 or 40 in this grant that received, they were on the list, yep.
Well, good job getting it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Next up, we have the Summer of Learning Grant for 2024. Julie, can you take that?
It's recommended that the board approve the acceptance of the Indiana Department of Education's 2024 Summer of Learning Grant in the amount of $18,000. Fort Wayne Community Schools was one of 11 districts across the state to host a Summer of Learning conference. The funding from this grant will be utilized to support the Ignited Conference on July 17th, 2024. This conference is open to all FWCS teachers and staff, as well as other educators across the state. The focus of the conference is increasing teacher understanding and application of blended learning strategies in regards to technology instruction, with emphasis on STEM, STEAM, science of reading, and UDL. I'll ask what that is later. Funds will be used to pay for speakers, teacher presenters, and materials needed to host the day. Shannon Quigley, Manager of Learning Technology, will be available to answer any questions.
Great, thanks, Julie. Is there a motion on the floor?
Motion.
Second.
Thanks, Jen. Thanks, Noah. Questions for Shannon?
So what's UDL?
UDL stands for Universal Designs for Learning, which is part of the state's initiative for online and blended learning, which is really just making sure the tools and resources that we provide for our students give all of them access to them. So providing things like online screen readers to every student, not just those with identified maybe needs, or like in our classrooms, we have amplified voice systems now in all of our elementary rooms, not just for students of hearing impaired, but really all students benefit from that. So it's really one of those things of making sure that classroom teachers are comfortable with some of the ways they could be building online tools or doing things in their classroom that would help all students be successful.
Did we receive this grant before?
This is our third year receiving this grant, yes.
Okay, I know you've had the Ignite did before. I just
Yep.
didn't know if we got paid or help support that.
Yes.
Wasn't that somewhere Jack danced at or sang at? Or something like that?
Yeah, he gets some good presentations, so if you want to see him present, you have to be there July 17th.
Do we know how many of our employees attended the event last year?
Yeah, last year we had 625 employees attend.
How many in total attended?
We had 750 registered, about 700 came for the day, so we had 50 that didn't show, but that we maxed out ticket sales last year from that.
What's the cost to attend?
It's free.
So ticket sales?
Yeah, so, yeah. It's sold out for its free cost, but.
Is that the max, 750?
That was the max last year, yes.
Do you think that'll be it again this year?
We're hopeful that it will. Part of that is the breakout sessions, the amount that we can host and provide. I think the actual seating in Northrop's auditorium could hold slightly more, so if we wanted to open up larger, we could. But that'll probably be around what we're expecting this year.
Do you have a sneak peek into who the future presenters are? Any famous ed tech names?
We don't have our keynote identified quite yet. We're still waiting on some contracts to be finalized. We do have, we've done some work with John Crippo of Edge of Protocols. Will be back as a featured speaker this year, so some of our teachers are familiar with things that we've done with them in the classroom, so he'll be back as one of those.
This will be the third year, is that what you said?
This is our third year as an identified Summer of Learning. We did host a conference previously without funding from the state, so this is just our third year as part of that grant.
How many of our teacher employees come back as a repeat?
We have a pretty good turnaround in it. That's probably our best sales for coming, is telling their friends hey, this was really a good event to come to. You should come. So I had some teachers who were like, I never really wanted to come before last year, and they came and they were like, I'm glad I did. So we're hopeful that the word keeps spreading.
For our 20 or so probably viewers, what would be your old commercial to encourage teachers to come?
If you're looking for ways to engage, I know we're all looking for ways to keep our students engaged in learning and make the classroom feel like a place kids want to come into. This is a great day to kind of get reinvigorated for the school year, to get comfortable with the tools and resources that we have, and it's just a fun day to get excited about the school year. So I encourage everyone who has ever been on the fence to come on over, or don't plan your vacation on July 17th and join us at Northrop.
Thank you, Shannon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shannon. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Next up, we have the physical plant improvements. Ann, can you do that, please?
It is recommended that the board approve the following construction contract for roofing at Weiser Park Elementary School. The bid is from Fort Wayne Roofing and Sheet Metal with a base bid of $970,700, with the alternate for areas 3 and 7 for $383,300 for a total contract of $1,361,000. All replacements have been identified in our roof replacement plan, which provides for the replacement of all roof segments over a 25-year period. Martin Riley Architects and Engineers designed the projects. This recommendation is within the program budget and is funded from a combination of the Operations Fund and the 2020 School Basic Renewal Restoration and Safety Projects Funds. Projects funded from the Operations Fund are identified in the Capital Projects Plan, and Darius Hess, Director of Facilities, is here to answer any questions.
Thanks, Ann. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Ann. Thanks, Jennifer. Any questions for Darren?
There's a pretty good gap in the difference in quotes pricing. Any thoughts as to why, or, I mean, we're getting,
Yeah, we're not quite sure why they're so high, other than the fact they are an out-of-town roofing contractor that hasn't dealt with us in the past. But the bid was within 10% of our engineer's estimate, so we feel comfortable with the number.
with the winning bid is?
Correct.
Okay, thanks, Darren.
I know you may have answered this in the past, but just in general roofing, how many years in between each school? I know we have a roofing replacement, but how many years between each school? So if this is Weiser getting theirs this year, how many years will it be until they receive another?
It depends. This is actually quite a bit of the roofing at Weiser, but typically it'll only be a portion of the roof. So it's 25 years between segments for the life cycle. But most times, many of the buildings have multiple segments that come up every other year.
Okay. But each segment is roughly 25 years.
Correct.
Is that the reason that this Weiser Park recommendation is by itself? Because I know normally you give us bids with multiple schools, but you mentioned that this is a big chunk of the roof at Weiser Park. Is that why it's sort of standalone?
Correct. We put it out there as one bid, being one site, to be attractive to bidders that may be a little smaller, to not have to take on many different schools.
Roughly how many segments of roof do you have per, I know there's all size, I mean, Wayne and Northrop are bigger than Weiser Park Elementary, but roughly how many segments do you break a roof down into?
So typically in elementary, the smaller schools will have at least a dozen different sections. But once you get into high schools like Southside, for example, I believe there's like 78 or 80 sections throughout the building. If you think about all the small little canopies and things like that, we can break them up and do them in chunks and have alternates to fit our budget every year as well.
What's our biggest roof?
North side probably because it has most square footage.
Because of the auditorium?
Auditorium and all the 6 different spokes coming out of it.
I love it. Any other questions for Darren? Good. Thanks, Darren. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Raleigh, can you do the next one?
Sure. It is recommended that the board approve the appointment of a project architect engineer for the following 2024 CPP project at various locations, and of a project architect engineer in CMC for the Miami Middle School renovation. So there are a number of projects listed here. I'm going to skip past all of that. Indiana law requires that projects over $100,000 make use of a registered architect or a professional engineer for developing plans and specifications. Project architect engineers need to be appointed now to allow sufficient time for planning and bidding of the projects. The projects will be funded with a combination of Operations Fund, which is identified in the Capital Projects Plan, and 2020 School Building Basic Renewal, Restoration, and Safety Project Bond. The contract procurement method for the Miami Middle School renovation is the construction manager as contractor, CMC, for publicly funded projects as allowable per IC 5-32. The recommendation includes the design services contract based on a percentage of construction value, as well as a fixed fee for contractor pre-construction services. An additional recommendation will be presented at a later date with the establishment of a final guaranteed maximum price for project, and Darren can answer any questions.
Thanks, Raleigh. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Ann. Thanks, Julie. Any questions for Darren?
The 2020 referendum, as I recall, was primarily, the big parts of that was Wayne, Blackhawk, and Miami.
That's correct. Those are three
Wayne
major
is
renovations.
well deep into it, right, as I saw Friday night when my Snyder Panthers got beat by the mighty Wayne Generals, who are really good. And then Blackhawks started, right?
Wayne will complete this summer, at the end of this summer, and Blackhawk actually started today.
Oh, good work. And then, so this is the first step to get Miami going?
Correct. So we'll probably have final guaranteed maximum price for your approval August of this year and begin construction around this time a year from now.
And then that'll be like an 18-month to 2-year,
Yeah, it'll be about a 21-month
we're
project.
shooting probably like 26 or 27 to be done with Miami.
If you include Arlington and Lincoln that we did under ESSER, it was pretty much a major renovation. This will be the 25th since we started the referendum project.
I'm sorry, no, it'll be done in the year of 2026.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it'll be complete in 26, I'm sorry, 26.
Thank you.
But this will be our 25th major renovation. So we're excited about that. We're almost halfway through,
62 buildings?
roughly.
Thanks, Darren.
Yeah. Other questions for Darren? No? Okay. Thanks, Darren. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Noah, can you do short and long-term disability?
It's recommended the board approve New York Life's proposed renewal offer, which would extend the rates currently enforced to short-term disability and long-term disability plans through January 31, 2026. It's also recommended the board approve a two-year rate extension with Symmetry Life Insurance Company for life insurance renewal. New York Life's current enforced rates became effective February 1, 2022. The short-term disability rate remains at 0.178, or almost 18 cents per $10 of weekly benefit for the plan. Long-term disability rates remains 0.275 per 100 of covered payroll covering eligible teachers, administrators, and supervisory employees. Long-term disability rates remain at 0.10 or 10 cents per $100 of covered payroll covering eligible classified staff. This agreement may be extended beyond January 31, 2026, subject to the agreement of the vendor, provided there are no additional price increase adjustments or changes in terms of the contract. Symmetry Life Insurance Company guaranteed life insurance rates for 3 years in 2019. Based on experience ratings, Symmetry is offering a 2-year rate extension of 0.083 cents or approximately 8 cents per $1,000 of covered payroll through January 31, 2026. Rose Costello, Executive Director of HR, will be here to answer questions.
Thanks, Noah. Is there a motion on the floor?
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Noah. Thanks, Raleigh. Any questions for Rose?
So basically, we're re-upping what we got.
Correct, yes.
Great job on keeping those rates down.
Any other questions for Rose? Thanks, Rose. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that brings us to board member comments. Steve?
Well, I really enjoyed the pre-meeting concert with our students from Memorial Park, and it was especially gratifying to see so many students of color play an instrument. And happy holidays to my board members and staff. That's it.
Thanks, Steve.
I also really enjoyed the holiday music, so thank you to Colleen Phillips. She always does such a terrific job with those kids, and she was clear to mention how appreciative she is to be instrumental in the money that's been raised to provide instruments for the majority of those students, I think. That's just such a great program. I missed a couple meetings, so I wanted to make sure I said something to Jennifer. I just wanted to, because I didn't get a chance to say this, but I was just so impressed that you, with the campaign that you ran for City Council, I really think it takes a lot to put yourself out there like that. And I'm just appreciative that you did. And I'd like to see, more people participate in the democratic process that way. So, congrats.
Thank you.
Maybe you get a chance to run again for something.
Oh, give me a few more weeks.
And just to teachers and staff, Colleen mentioned that there were 9 more days, so best of luck on your 9 days until break, and hopefully you have a wonderful holiday, and same with all my colleagues. That's it.
Well, thank you for the kind words. I did not address that in the past, but the democratic process is an interesting process, that's for sure. It's one of the reasons why we're all sitting here. Never say never is what one of my other board members always tells me, so I'm not going to say never, but it is work, and I am very grateful that I was able to step up and run, but be able to maintain the seat, because the seat's very important to me. I feel like either way would have been a win. What I did find is that we need more people to be civically engaged. I mean, my district had 50-some thousand voters in my district, and less than about roughly 10,000 people came out to vote. So I don't know what we can do in our school districts to let kids know that their voices matters. I really worked really hard with our young voters to try to get out. What I did also find is there were 1,856 voters from the age of 18 to 30 who had never voted in my district.
Wow.
Which is crazy to me. So, you know, our government classes in school, our social studies and such are very important, even though we don't put a lot of emphasis on that in the testing and such. But my opinion is we could do more to engage our kids, to let them know that their voice matters, education matters, and we can see where that's going in our own state. I know I'm going off on a tangent a little bit there, but we fight it as a board all the time, and our district fights what's going on at the state level all the time to do better for our students and our families, and that starts with your vote. So what we can do as a board, if we can implement policy where we get our students to be engaged, we don't need to be telling them how to vote, but we need to let them know that they can vote and that their voices really do matter. So I think that we came a long way in our high schools of getting the League of Women Voters out to our schools to get kids registered. I just want to let them know that it matters, and it matters to them, and they can make a difference. So anyhow, that's a tangent, but I was very proud to be running with a bunch of women, and that was exciting for me to see a bunch of women running for our government seats. So thank you, Julie. I do want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Holiday, Happy Hanukkah, Happy everything. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. Spend that time with your families, relax, enjoy, and come back refreshed in the new year. Steve?
Did you not share with me an idea that you found about another school district that passed a policy that promotes civic engagement for students?
I did, because I did a lot of research on the young voters and why or not they are voting. So
when you're ready to move forward, I'm right behind you.
all right, we'll look into that for sure, Steve, because I think that we could do a better job in our school district of getting those kids engaged. And it had to do with something that was important to them, getting them involved in something that was important to those students, for them to see that they could be physically and with a policy for civic engagement. More so than taking a civics test or anything. It was just about getting into the process and learning the process. So you and I can work on that, Steve. Thank you.
Several years ago, a friend and I were presenting, I don't even remember about what, but it was for something to do with advocating for public schools. And there was this young college student in the audience who, we were probably talking about how many schools didn't have any funding for music programs and the arts and things like that, because this young college student said that, you know, I never would have made it through school if it hadn't been for my music program. That is what motivated me to get up every morning and go to school, was because she knew she had music class. So, and I've heard that story from other people, you know, through the years, how that keeps them in school, keeps them motivated, gives them a purpose. It's music, the arts is something different than, math and science that is drilled in our kids. So I am thankful for the music that was out there and that we continue to support music in our schools for our young people. So everybody, happy holidays to our families and staff and everybody out there. Have a wonderful time off.
Thanks, Ann. Raleigh?
Short and sweet. Happy holidays. Be safe and enjoy your families.
Shorter and sweeter, ditto to everything they all said.
Dr. Daniel?
Again, we're very fortunate to have staff that we have and teachers that we have and programs that we have. And as Coach Tippmann said, it makes a difference when students are involved in co-curricular activities. So again, I've said it a couple times, Christmas has come early for Fort Wayne Community Schools in a lot of ways this year. So appreciative of everyone's efforts, from the referendum to state championships to what we're doing in this area of schools of success and how that's rolling with our partnerships and so on and so forth. So again, but also as a board, you know how important it is to be involved and have a board that's working in the same direction. So again, thank you for what you do, and everyone out there, enjoy your holidays, and just as everyone else has said. So thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Daniel. One of the main functions of a school board is to hire and evaluate our superintendent. So our board has agreed upon a 3% raise for Dr. Daniel, in line with all of the other raises that employees received, and a $5,000 bonus. So that wasn't anything that we needed to vote on, but wanted to make voters aware of. And we also, board members, received a holiday greeting from the young adult transition program. So just wanted to say thank you to Miss Emma and her students. This was lovely and warmed my heart, so thank you very much. And wanted to thank Miss Colleen Phillips and Mr. Gibson for bringing the students from Memorial Park this evening. They actually adjust the concert schedule at Memorial Park, so they have holiday concerts tonight, Tuesday, and Wednesday evening, and they start a half hour later on Monday evening so that their students can come and play for the board and for the cabinet members. So thank you to them for that. I know everyone enjoys that. This is my favorite board meeting of the year because they come and play. So, and then just wanted to share with everyone, I know that our marketing department has gotten this information out on Facebook, but information for our 8th grade families, our high school open houses. I know Dr. Daniel has talked about the schools of success, and we are beginning to roll out those information sessions for our families. So there will be 6 of them, and they start on January 11th, and the last one being January 25th. For sake of time, Angie, can you just make sure all those get in the minutes? Thank you. But I hope that families can attend. If one of the dates don't work for your schedule, just know that you can attend any one of those dates. The schools of success, we're all very excited about it, but our families may have questions about what is coming up for their freshman student. So I encourage all of our families to attend one of those information sessions. And those students who aren't going into high school, the lottery is now open, and we have the Tuesday tours. So if there are any families out there that would like to tour one of our buildings, I know at Memorial Park, Principal Crozier says you can come any day, not just Tuesday, just give them a call. And I know that our principals are very open to having visitors. I couldn't All of the principals are very proud of their buildings, so I'm sure they would love to have visitors. So if you do have questions about programs, you want to see buildings, you want to meet teachers, all those things, I would contact those buildings and set up an appointment so that you and your family can tour those facilities. And thanks to Darren, we have beautiful facilities for you to see.
Dr. Daniel, will the information at all of the 6, that includes our virtual schools, so it's our high schools, will the information all be the same so that if a parent is thinking they're going to feed into Snyder or they're going to feed into Southside or whatever, should they go to both schools or try to, or is one school going to be sufficient for them to attend?
So there will be some variance. So if you're interested in a particular high school, I would recommend that you attend as many as you like. We just had the conversation this morning, one of our School of Success meetings, and again, it's going to be marketed to all groups. We do have a parent FAQ as well. So again, to help explain some of the details, but we're also asking our teachers promote your programs. So as such, if you're, if you want to hear what's happening in the space of world languages, then okay, how are you promoting that? Again, connecting it to some type of School of Success, career type of application. So that's one of the reasons why we spread them out, so you wouldn't have it on the same night. So if you are interested in a couple schools, you now have the opportunity to have that visit.
Thank you.
And on that parent FAQ, the variations, so that you said that there could be variations of those programs. Does it list what those variations are on that parent FAQ website?
So Krista's team has been working on that space. You want to explain that a little bit?
Yeah, so basically what we're going to have is we will have a presentation that at the base, so sort of the base information will be the same at all the schools, but the schools might have some, like you said, some differences. We will have those on the website soon. That's not up yet, but we are working on building that. But if someone is thinking about more than one school, it might be a good idea to go just so you can meet the people in the different buildings, just get the different feel for what is being offered, not just academically, but what kind of co-curriculars are available as well.
Great, thanks. And then any other questions about Schools of Success while we're here?
Thank you for bringing it up.
Yeah, no problem. So get those dates on your calendar. And I know, again, there are Facebook events for all 6 events, so you can check the FWCS Facebook page for additional dates and information. And I will echo everyone's message about happy holidays. I don't know why. I feel like this year it's just a little bit more important. It might be, and the public doesn't know this, but the majority of people in this room do know. My grandfather passed in January, and so this year has been a year of firsts without him. And so maybe it's that we're about to celebrate our first Christmas without him. But just hug your families, hug the people that you love, hug your people, love your people, enjoy the break. And thank you so much for all that you do every day for students and families in our district. So I appreciate everyone. And with that, I will say that we have an organizational meeting on Monday, January 8th. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Move we adjourn.
Second.
Thank you, Noah. Thank you.